Always a treat to welcome on our friend and host of the Kevin Kietzman Has Issues podcast. Kevin Kietzman joining us on KCMO Talk Radio, getting set for the NFL playoffs this weekend. Kevin, good morning. How are you, my friend?
Pete, I'm doing great, man, and congratulations to you and everyone there at KCMO Talk Radio, the success you're having on this big FM signal. I know 2024 is going to be your best year ever. Way to go, man.
Well, thank you very much. And obviously, you're kicking butt with everything you're doing on the podcast side, and we love having you on here on 95.7 FM. I want to start off, you're a media guy. You do politics, you do sports, you do news, you do it all like we do here. But the Chiefs, the Peacock deal. I know we're going to get the game on Woke 41 here in town, but I want to ask you, the NFL getting $110 million from NBC to put the defending Super Bowl champs on Peacock. Is this the way of the future? Is the NFL too greedy for its own good? What do you make of it?
Man, I thought this ship had sailed. They've been on Amazon for 2 years on Thursday Night Football, so the only way to watch the NFL on Thursday nights the last 2 years has been streaming, unless it's your local team. So what the NFL has done, they always protect the teams that are in the game. So in Miami and Kansas City, the game's on a local broadcast affiliate, the NBC channel. So that's good for their affiliates, obviously, and it's good for the fans in those markets. So, I mean, this is kind of an older story that's popping up, but I think it's popping up because nobody has Peacock. Everybody has Amazon Prime. If you're a Prime member, just getting all your packages for the holidays, you get the streaming channel free. So I think a lot of people have seen, the Amazon thing kind of come and go. Yeah, I do think this is part of it. And, I think the nefarious part of this really is from the streamers. What's going to happen is a lot of people are going to sign up for $6 to get Peacock. Then they're going to forget to cancel it. Yeah. And these are people that don't look at their credit card bill every month. They don't check every nickel and dime or whatever that they pay. And Peacock knows this is built in. So if they can go get out and get 25, 50, or 100,000 subscriptions, it's going to be from a lot of people that just kind of forget to cancel it. They may never watch Peacock again until next year when there's a playoff game on, but they're going to have the revenue coming in. To me, it's about the streamers leveraging against fans who, honestly, we really probably don't pay enough attention to what we pay for.
Well, I agree with that. And if you look at the media, the model, though, I mean, a lot of people would say that for years, sports fans have been subsidized by non-sports fans in their cable bills. I mean, if you actually broke down your cable bill, 10, 11, 12 bucks goes to ESPN, which is really subsidized by people who don't watch ESPN who still pay cable bills. So this is in large part the way of the future. But do you think this will hurt the ratings? I mean, I feel like it has to, because if it was on broadcast TV, you'd get probably 20, 25 million people watching this game on Saturday night. I don't know what that number is going to be and if we're ever going to find out, Kevin, because I don't know how they report these kinds of numbers.
Well, NBC Universal will put out some sort of a statement that, we set a record on Peacock. It was the highest rated thing. That's probably the case. But this will get a fraction of the other 5 playoff games this weekend. Here's the good news. In Kansas City, we don't care. We're going to be able to see it. It's going to get a big rating because nobody's going to the game, Pete. Yeah. There's going to be empty seats. Nobody's going. Everybody's going to stay home and watch on TV. The Chiefs are the most overexposed sports entity in America, and you can make an argument that a lot of people around America are kind of tired of seeing the Chiefs right now, but we saw that 5 of the 10 top TV shows in America last year in 2023, highest-rated television programs, 5 of the top 10 were Kansas City Chiefs football games. So there's no lack of ratings here for the Chiefs. If they win and they play at Buffalo the next week, that will be the highest-rated game next weekend, I can guarantee you. So it's not like people don't get to see the Chiefs. This is really just about Chiefs and Dolphins fans having access.
Now, you're saying that you think there's going to be empty seats. I was just checking this. Now, I'm going to be there with a buddy because I am a glutton for punishment, apparently. But I did see on StubHub you can get in for $65 on Saturday night. How about that?
Well, I'll do even better than that. I'll drop my promo code. We got friends over at ticketsforless.com. They're one of my sponsors. If your promo code is KKHI, they sent me an email yesterday, Pete. This is a true story. They said the tickets are moving slow. It ain't happening. We got tickets for under $100 if you use a promo code KKHI 15. You'll get 15% off your entire order. I mean, they're all struggling to sell tickets to this thing. There's going to be empties. There's no question.
All right. You owe me, Kevin, for getting that free plug in there from one of your big sponsors.
You started it. You started with your StubHub thing.
All right. Hey, let me ask you, though, the weather. I mean, we all know it's going to be 0 degrees on Saturday night. You've been skeptical, as we all have been, about the Chiefs this year. But are you more confident in them, and do you feel like this is a slam dunk because of the weather, or are you giving Miami a chance?
I hate this game suddenly, and here's why. Everybody's looking at it going, there is no way the Chiefs lose this game. Here's two known commodities, facts about the Miami Dolphins. Here's what we know about them. They have lost 10 straight games where it's less than 40 degrees, and they have not beaten one good team all year this year. The Dolphins won all their games against crappy teams. Every time they play somebody good, including the Chiefs in Germany, they have lost. I'm scared to death of this game. That's undefeated. I mean, they don't beat good teams, and they don't win in the cold. This is shaping up like there is no chance the Chiefs can lose this game, and that has me terrified.
So you just think that is basically their due? Is it really that simple? They're due?
No, flukes happen. Nothing's in sports. You know this, and so do the listeners. Nothing's forever. A 10-0 eventually becomes 10-1. And the Dolphins have not beaten a good team this year. They just haven't. Yeah. At some point, you do. Now, they're beat up, man. They have no pass rush. They've got injuries everywhere. They've had injuries on their offensive line. Tua Tagovailoa, their quarterback, has never played in a game like this. He grew up in Hawaii. He played at Alabama, and he plays in Miami. He's never played in cold weather. I saw a thing this week. He's never played below 35 degrees. It's going to be 0. We can all attest to the fact that winter in Kansas City at 35 degrees is one thing. 0 is when we stay home. We don't leave our houses.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Now, on a similar note, Kevin, you saw, as did many listeners here, that Jim Harbaugh, the Michigan Wolverines, win the national championship in college football on Monday night. Is Jim Harbaugh destined for the AFC West with the Chargers? Because if so, that would concern me if I were the Chiefs.
Jim Harbaugh's won everywhere he's been. He won with the 49ers. He won in college before that. He's just won a national championship at Michigan. So everywhere the guy goes, he wins. A lot of people think you want to be paired up with Justin Herbert, the Chargers quarterback. I'm not so sure. I'm beginning to think there's enough of a sample size of Justin Herbert with the Chargers to say, he's more like Phillip Rivers or Baker Mayfield or somebody like that that's never going to be a champion, just a guy that maybe racks up some stats but that doesn't really win any impressive games. By the way, Lamar Jackson, the quarterback of the Ravens, the number 1 seed in the AFC this year, certainly has a resume like that. He's racked up some numbers. He's been an MVP. He may be the MVP this year. He's been around, 7 years, 8 years? He's won one playoff game in his life. One. I mean, there's a laundry list of quarterbacks that are good in the NFL that never win in the postseason. And I think Jim Harbaugh will have to think, is Justin Herbert that guy? What's more intriguing to me is, would he consider going to the Bears or the Commanders, who have the number 1 and number 2 pick, and they may take Caleb Williams, the star quarterback out of USC, and say, let's go build something from scratch and take a couple of years to do it like he did at Michigan. I don't know. I don't know much about Jim Harbaugh or what he's thinking. I do 90% believe that he's leaving college football and he's headed to the NFL.
You do? Okay.
I do. The NCAA's treated him terribly unfairly for what he did. But this guy did at Michigan, they accuse him of cheating and stealing signs. Everyone in college football does that. Everyone in pro football does that. Everyone in every sport does it. They try to gain an edge. They didn't do anything wrong at Michigan. He got suspended 3 games for a low-level coach who wasn't really even an assistant for doing something that he didn't know what was going on. And then we watched Kansas and all the stuff they did in college basketball, and they just let that go. After 4 or 5 years of investigation, they just said, we're wiping our hands clean of this, KU. You're good to go. I mean, it's unbelievable trying to figure out the NCAA. Jim Harbaugh is attacked at Michigan because he's conservative. Make no mistake about this. The presidents of the university hate him. He is a pro-lifer. He has been in news conferences where he talks about abortion being, Satan's work, and he wears he's a Catholic. He wears it on his sleeve. He is a middle-aged white guy. He is everything the liberal left, the media, the presidents of the universities, and the NCAA absolutely hate, and they want him out because he's got a megaphone, and they want him out of their sport.
And his wife is from right here in the Kansas City area, Belton, Missouri girl, I believe.
That's right. They're good people. He's not popular, but they are good people.
That's the vibe I've gotten as well. Kevin Kietzman is joining us on KCMO. You may have seen this, Kevin. Pro Football Talk's Mike Florio. He appears on Sunday Night Football, I believe, as well on that broadcast. He suggested over the last couple of days, speaking of coaches, that Andy Reid could be considering retirement sooner than people expect. You buying that? I mean, he's going to be 66 in March. He's won a couple of Super Bowls here. But could he really leave Patrick Mahomes in his prime?
Yes, because you never really know how somebody feels day to day.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know Andy Reid is a large man. We're hearing Travis Kelce talk about he doesn't think he's going to be playing much longer because his body just hurts everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like it isn't the game day. It isn't the hits. It isn't whatever. It's like my life at age 33, my body just hurts. So Andy Reid played football before that. He's been around this game a long time. He hasn't taken tremendous steps to get in great shape. A couple of years ago, we may recall, he was taken to the hospital after a game for a heart issue that they never would disclose exactly what it was, but he stayed overnight in the hospital because he had a cardiac incident after a game. You just never really know what somebody's level of stress, anxiety, or what their day-to-day feeling is. I'm not suggesting that he's ill or has something really, really wrong with him, but he may be at a point where we know he loves the beach. We know he loves his downtime. He may be considering that. To this point, man, I don't know. You got Patrick Mahomes squeezing a couple more years into this thing. I can't imagine that he's not going to go a couple more years.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Kevin Kietzman on KCMO. And I'm not going to bring up Taylor Swift because I know that we are on totally different sides of that. So I'm not going to let you come on the show this morning and take a dig at her, Kevin. I'm just not going to let you do it. But the floor is yours, real fast.
Did you see the Pentagon is using her for psyops? Did you see the video yesterday?
No.
It's 3 or 4 years old. They've started this about 3 years ago. Your United States federal government is weaponizing Taylor Swift against the electorate for disinformation. They are doing this. Your federal government is doing it. Here's something really weird happened last night, Pete. Jesse Waters all day promoted that he was going to have this massive investigation about Taylor Swift, the Pentagon, and psyops using her for the election. And it was this massive story. And then he didn't air it until 45 minutes in his show, and it aired absolutely nothing really new. And he said, we really don't know what's going on. Something happened at Fox yesterday, and they shut him down from running a story that he wanted to lead with last night. Taylor Swift will become a bigger and bigger political story every single month this year, and your federal tax dollars and your government at the Pentagon are using her for psyops against conservatives to combat disinformation in social media.
Now, did you see that she called out, or her people called out, the New York Times over the weekend?
I think they were the ones that first reported this video that is circulating.
Well, no, it was different. The New York Times wrote a 5,000-word article insinuating that she's gay and in the closet.
Oh, yeah, I did see that. I did see that.
And her people trashed.
She drops these little she drops tokens on stage or something that are like
something weird
or something.
I just like that she's going after the New York Times. I respect that.
Yeah, if she knows exactly what the New York Times is. I don't know. I'm telling you, this whole election, Biden's a buffoon. The whole thing is coming down to abortion. They've got the issue back again on their side. It polls very well. Conservatives lose on this issue, and they're going to weaponize this and use it on a national level because most people think the law was taken away. Most people don't know that it was a Supreme Court ruling that just opened up abortion. Mm-hmm. There's never been a law, and the Democrats don't want to make a law. They don't want an abortion law. They want a political issue. That's all they want. They don't care about abortion. They just want to win elections.
Yep.
And I'm telling you, when we get to August or September, it's going to be abortion, 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 and the Swifties are going to go crazy.
Yeah. Well, we will be following, and we'll be talking to you about it, Kevin. We appreciate you, my friend. Have a great day and stay warm.
Thank you, Pete. Thanks for having me on, buddy.
You as well. That is Kevin Kietzman on KCMO. His podcast, check it out. Kevin Kietzman Has Issues. Always good to have him on the show.